So, Andrew Cuomo, the media darling, they love this dude now, bro, because they put him against Trump, and it's like this whole dynamic, and they're like, oh, Cuomo, you're a savior, Cuomo! Andrew Cuomo just took a dump on all of the working class. So check out these comments real quick. They were asking him, so the people who can't go back to work and are struggling now, and since the government's giving them little to no assistance in actually paying their bills and keeping food on the table and surviving, what do you say to those people if they really want to return to work? How are we going to be able to help them as the state of New York, as the government, etc.? Check out his response real quick.
They're also saying, if you can't afford to pay me unemployment, or your system is not set up,
you will be paid.
But
unemployment
they can't
from
wait
the day.
for they can't wait for the money. They're out of money.
Yeah, we're talking about a couple of days lag on the unemployment insurance, and they will get the check from the date of unemployment. It does not cost them an extra penny. Now, they can say unemployment insurance isn't enough. I get it. Even with the $600 check and the $1,200 check and the unemployment insurance benefit is not enough. I understand the economic hardship. We all feel it. The question is, what do you do about it? And do you put public health at risk? And do you drive up the number of deaths for it? Because you have no idea how to reopen now.
So they're saying that, is there a fundamental right to work if the government can't get me the money when I need it? Is there a fundamental right
you want to go to
work?
work? Go take a job as an essential worker. Do it tomorrow. Right? You're working.
I am.
You're an essential worker. So go take a job as an essential worker.
But the people aren't hiring because of the
No, there are
pandemic.
people hiring. You can get a job as an essential worker. So now you can go to work and you can be an essential worker and you're not going to kill anyone.
Isn't that so rich? It's just so rich with content. I don't know where to start, man. So there's two parts to it. There's one I absolutely despise, and there's one that I kind of sort of maybe understand. So I'll get to the nice part, okay? The part when he's talking about how you gotta stay home. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta stay home. People are dying. Like literally 40,000+ deaths already just in the United States. You gotta stay home. You don't want to contribute to worsening this crisis. And that's the part I understand, right? So for everybody who wants to go back to work, they're dying to go back to work, because if they don't go back to work, they starve. If they don't go back to work, they get evicted. They have to go back to work. And from the governor's standpoint, for the person who's overseeing this crisis in one of the largest states in the country, you're put in a tough position there where you have to say, all right, I understand your pain, but we can't have more lives lost. We're at the epicenter of this whole pandemic. We can't have people going back to work worsening this pandemic. More lives now on my hands that I have to deal with. I understand that coming from that perspective. But then there's another part to it that I absolutely despise. Right? It's not just like when someone comes to you and says, yo, listen, I can't feed my kids. Yo, listen, I lost my job. Listen, I got furloughed. Listen, if I don't get a stable source of income beyond this little measly one-time BS payment check, if I don't go back and start working so I can get my paycheck back, I'm going to be F-U-C-K-E-D. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be screwed to the highest order. I can't feed my kids at that point. I can't get treatment for the virus. I can't get a roof over my head. I have to do something. Get some money jumping off. And to them, if your response is, okay, well, go be a worker. Go get a job. You want to work so bad, go get a job. That's elitist. That's the part I can't stand. That's elitist. That's not understanding at all what these people are going through. There was a part there where he was like, it's economic hardship. We've all felt it. You don't feel nothing. There's no way you felt that and that's your response. Go get a job. Go be an essential worker. Go be a journalist. Go be a healthcare worker. Go get a job at Kroger or Walmart or Target. Go get a job. Go get a job. It's not that simple. And See, your natural response is to say, well, he knows it's not that simple. But I don't know if he really doesn't know it's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Because that takes a level of elitism and just stuck-upness that I think is very common with the establishment Democrats. You know, and this gets to another major point here. There's like this media love with Andrew Cuomo, right? There was like this big talk for a couple of weeks about him replacing Joe Biden as the nominee. Andrew Cuomo is just as corrupt, just as elitist, has just much of a terrible record as Joe Biden. Still just as in bed with Wall Street, perhaps even more. Still just as in bed with Big Pharma. Still just as in bed with the health insurance companies. That's who Andrew Cuomo is. That's what he come to represent, him and his family. So the idea that this guy is going to be some savior, and just because the media is pitting him against Trump and, oh my God, Cuomo, don't sit here and act like this guy's now the savior and the New York Jesus, all right? Let's understand something. This guy is an elitist prick. Someone who says something like that is an elitist prick. Your response can never be, even if you can't do anything about it because your hands are tied as the governor, your response can't be, go get a job. You want to work so bad, go get a job. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful to everything that these people are going through on a daily basis. People are dying. Not just because of the virus, but because now they are starving, because now they can't put food on the table, because now they have to choose between getting healthcare treatment for something other than the virus or having to pay to keep the roof over their head and put the last penny into their child's education. That's what people are going through on a daily basis. 22 million people in just a month are now unemployed. And now you're overseeing that. So you can either stand up and say, listen, I understand your pain, but we just can't move on that right now. But we're going to do everything in our power, right? Setting up relief shelters, right? Setting up situations where we can divvy up the money in a way that goes towards the middle class directly and not just to the big banks and the big corporations. On the state level, as the governor, you can control some of that. But instead of saying any of that stuff, what does he do? He continues, right, to play one side to the people, acting like he's fighting for you, and then on another side, still be the elitist prick that he is and sell himself out to the corporations on the side. So listen, dude, Andrew Cuomo is kind of a controversial figure to say the least. And for me, I think this shows both sides of it. He's an elitist prick, but he also does have a job as a governor to try to put a lid on this pandemic. But that response, at least the second part there about go get a job, go be an essential worker, he knows it's not that simple. He knows people are going through hardship on a daily basis, but I don't think he really knows how that feels, what people are really going through. He only knows the surface level crap, little talking points he can say in his little meetings. I think it speaks volumes if someone would say something like that. Especially someone in such a position of power.
With the boys, yeah, we making all this noise. Can't complain, riding in the fast lane. To the top, we don't stop, up till past 5 o'clock. Smoking trees.